In a world where algorithms drive our daily lives, a hidden army works tirelessly behind the scenes. This is the story of the Invisible Sweatshop, where real human labor shapes the artificial intelligence that powers our lives, often unnoticed and unappreciated. What if I told you that for every personal assistant, social media filter, and autocorrect, there's a team of individuals painstakingly refining our AIs, often under harsh conditions? Artificial intelligence has revolutionized industries, making our lives more convenient and efficient. Yet the brilliance of these technologies comes at a cost. The complex task of training AIs requires vast amounts of data that must be curated, cleaned, and annotated by human hands. This documentary dives deep into the world of microtasking, where workers sift through images, text, and video, labeling content to ensure that algorithms learn accurately. Consider this. A single AI model can require millions of labeled data points. Companies such as Google, Facebook, and Amazon don't just rely on advanced algorithms. They lean heavily on platforms that employ thousands globally, often in conditions reminiscent of traditional sweatshops. In countries around the world, workers are contracted to perform these menial tasks for remarkably low wages. The irony? Many of the platforms that handle these workers pride themselves on cutting-edge technology and ethical standards. Yet the humans behind these platforms are often invisible, working anonymously in what has been termed the gig economy, struggling to get by on meager pay while contributing to our increasingly digital lives. Take the story of a Filipino woman named Maria, who spends her days labeling images for a prominent AI-enabled facial recognition system. For every photo, she earns only a few cents. Consider the implications. Maria is integral to the creation of an algorithm that might one day influence hiring decisions or law enforcement practices. Yet her role goes unrecognized in the technology narrative. The unregulated nature of this industry raises ethical questions about labor rights and corporate responsibility. As demand for AI continues to surge, experts warn that workers are being exploited and their contributions undervalued. Companies claim that their AI training models are improving, but at what cost? Labor conditions can be grueling, with long hours and minimal benefits. Workers often report psychological strain from the repetitive tasks of reviewing graphic content, violence, hate speech, and other forms of harmful material. A 2020 study showed that nearly 30% of workers in data annotation jobs experienced symptoms of burnout. This cycle of exploitation doesn't just affect the workers, it reflects on the technologies we use. Flaws in AI models have been attributed to biases unintentionally introduced during the training phase. Human behavior and error seep through in the annotations made on the data. And while corporations profit from the advancements of AI, many remain unaware of who is truly behind the curtain. Yet there is a growing movement advocating for fair wages and improved working conditions. Organizations are beginning to emerge that seek to empower these invisible workers, pushing for transparency and fair treatment in the tech industry. They argue that to truly harness AI's potential ethically, we must first acknowledge and value the human input behind the screen. From Maria in the Philippines to thousands like her around the world, the struggle continues. They are the heartbeat of artificial intelligence, working tirelessly in the shadows while the spotlight shines on the technological marvels that emerge from their labor. To understand AI is to understand the people who make it possible. Next time you interact with a smart device or rely on a recommendation algorithm, remember the invisible forces at play that make these technologies what they are. It's time for us all to look closer at the people who help shape the digital age and recognize their essential contributions. As we push into this new frontier of technology, let us demand not just innovation, but also compassion, not just profit, but humanity in the algorithms and the processes that shape our lives. Join us soon for another documentary.